myself tonight. I'm all alone. Weena's not joining me tonight. I am doing an interview. I'm doing a review of the first episode of Interview with the Vampire. So you just have me. I'm sorry. Something exciting. But I'm excited to talk to you about this. It was so good. So I'm gonna spoil a little bit because I have to. I'm not gonna hit, like, there's a couple things that I do not want to spoil for you because they're like integral to the plot, one, but two, like I did not see them coming, and I'm glad I didn't get them spoiled for me. So all right, let's get into it. So let's talk about, let me just give a little disclaimer here. My first disclaimer is that I'm not a vampire girl. I'm not but I'm not into vampires. It's not my thing. Of the creatures of the night, vampires are not one that am high on my list. I have seen the movie, and surprisingly I've not read the books, which you'd think, like, Ray's the book girl, like Ray's the one who likes all the way. No, I've never read it. It's interested me, but I've never been. I was in school when Hot Topic started, guys, so that was not my jam either. So yeah, that was like Interview with the Vampire was the hot topic goth, that was their Bible. So it was not my thing, but I enjoyed the movie to an extent, with that Mr. Old Tom Hanks. Stop. Not Tom Hanks. What a movie that would have been. The thing you're imagining, Tom Hanks as Lestat. Making sweet, sweet love to Brad Pitt. You know what? Who is the Tom Hanks of Brad Pitt? Brad Dourif. Cut it, seal it, ship it out. We got a movie. Let me take that back. Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, 1994's Interview with the Vampire, The Vampire Chronicles, The Chronicles of Riddick, The Chronicles of Lestat. It was fine. There's some lines that I still laugh at. There's a couple podcasts I listen to that make fun of it, and so I just keep thinking certain lines in my head. But I had to say, like, I was interested. I saw the previews and I was like, this is gayer than before. I'm again interested. And so I looked it up and I was like, was this gay? I don't remember. I mean, it was pretty gay in the 1994 movie, but I don't remember it being this gay, which is completely fine. I am here for it. And it's more attuned to the book, supposedly. And they said it was article I said, not me, article titled Blacker and Gayer Than Ever. And I said, that is a shirt. Please put it on a shirt. I can't wear it, but I would love someone to wear it for me. So because in this version, and I'm sure there's a lot of white fuckers out there that are getting so angry about this, and you know what, you can go fuck yourself. There, Louis is played by a black man, and a gorgeous black man. Gorgeous. And I think this fits with the time period, the setting. I mean, it's New Orleans. I mean, come on. It's New Orleans. And it just fits really well. So you're not going to hear any complaints on this end of things. I think it actually brings a depth to the story by having this black family as the centerpiece for this show. I think setting it in 1910s New Orleans is fucking brilliant. Because you have a dynamic there that, because if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, and you can bitch at me in the comments, but if I remember correctly, Lestat was a plantation owner, or maybe Louis was, or maybe both of them were. I don't know. You can't really build empathy with a plantation owner during slavery times. Real tough sell on that one. So this to me was like perfect. You know, before the Great War, you have electricity and cars. You're just about to get prohibition. So you're like, it's just kind of, it's an interesting mix up. And again, you're coming up on the Great War. So I can't wait to see where they're going to go with it. But I can just tell you the sets are gorgeous. The costumes are gorgeous. Like everything is just beautiful. Their house is just fucking beautiful. They are a upper class Black family. So like Louis let me look it up because I'm not going to say it. If I look at it, I might say it right, but I'm not going to say it right. Just trying to remember. Louis de Pont du Lac. Again, I didn't read the book, guys. His family is well off. Like they have servants. And from what I understand, their father was in the sugar cane business, I believe it was. And shortly before he died, like he lost everything. So they were within 4 months of being bankrupt. Enter Louis as the eldest son and what he has to do to fill the family's coffers. We talk about about Tom Cruise 2.0 and Brad Pitt 2.0. As Louis, we have Jacob Anderson. And I'm sad that Ween's not here because he's one of the stars of one of our favorite movies of this past year, Overlord. And he's on Game of Thrones. Now, I'm not a Game of Thrones girl. He played Grey Worm. The only thing I remember from Game of Thrones is shame. And that's only because it's Hannah Whittingham. That's the only reason I remember it. How would you not remember her? She's fucking gorgeous. So he is amazing. He's absolutely amazing in this. The other person is Sam Reed, and you will know him from My Dreams. He is goddamn gorgeous, girls and boys. He is Australian, so he's a Hemsworth. And I don't know. He's been in some movies. I don't know any of them. But again, that doesn't put me that shocker on their way. Oh, he was the Limehouse Golem. I watched that. I don't remember John Cree. I remember like 3 characters from that, and it was not one of them. So yeah, he's they could have found, I don't know if they could have found 2 better looking actors to play these 2 gentlemen in love. I mean, I'm here for it. And then you also have the other character that's pretty integral to the plot is Daniel, who is played by Eric Bogosian, one of those that guy kind of characters. Recently he was in Succession, and I'm trying to think of like you saw him. He looks like to me, the character was Daniel, so it's the Christian Slater character. He's been in Billions. Uncut Gems is his last movie. He reminds me a little bit, and I wondered if they were at first trying to make him kind of like, he looks a little bit like Anthony Bourdain, a little bit, enough that I was like, oh, is that what he's supposed to be, like portraying as like an Anthony Bourdain character? But it's not. He's just a writer, a journalist. So let me start off. Let me just go from the beginning. I'm gonna hit pieces and parts here just because I don't want to spoil too much, because there are some things that are like so important that I don't want to ruin. But I just want to say the title sequence starts, and it comes up, and you get title sequence, and it's just an orchestra tuning, and it is the coolest fucking thing. Like, there is something to be said about an orchestra tuning that if I'm sure you've all heard them. It's, when they're, getting ready, they're tuning up their instruments before they start, where it can set you on edge. It can give you anticipation. It sets the mood. And here, you don't know what kind of mood you're getting set. Like, the title screen gives you nothing away. So you're like, okay, I feel anxious and I don't know why. It's such a good opener. But then we open with Daniel, who we learn very quickly. This is supposed to be set in like 2021, I think, because it's like the height of the pandemic. And I'm bringing that up. Hold on, let me take a drink. Hold on. Thank you. It is the height of the pandemic. And we know that because, and we also know that he's ill. Kind of found out he has Parkinson's. His like second stage Parkinson's, I think. And we learn that because he's worried about going out and variants, possible getting infection because he's already has a compromised immune system. So he opens his box and it's full of tapes. Like, okay, anybody who's born 2002 onward, those are weird things that he opens a box and there's things in there. I don't know. They're space material. They're audio tapes. And for everybody else, y'all remember mixtapes? That's what you got. So, he was sent a box of mixtapes. I would hope that at least one of them is Call Me Angel of the Morning. And the other one is Last to Be With You by Mr. Big. Here's to hoping. And so he's listening to them, and it's him as a younger man, we're assuming, interviewing Louis. So it's an invitation to continue on the conversation. Flies out to somewhere, Seattle. I don't know where anybody's at the beginning. I don't know where he's at, so I don't know where he flies to. But he goes out to see Louis, and he's in this big, giant, beautiful, state-of-the-art apartment, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And that's important because he says, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. He's like, how are you? He's like, you said you're a vampire. Where's your coffin? And he says, you're standing in it. And he has it set so that way it looks like it's dusk, but it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So he opens like this, like a solar panel, he opens the roof, and bright light comes streaming in, and that's how he can, it doesn't feel like he's got to be in a quote unquote coffin. It's cool. It's cool as shit. And so they decide to, because pretty much what happens is, Daniel's like, I'm dying, and fuck it, let's just do this, let's finish it. I never finished the book, let's fucking do it. So they start talking again, and we then, as we would say, smash cut 1910, Storyville, New Orleans. Again, just fantastic setting. The first person we see is Louis, as this like dapper gentleman in his little like Model T car, and he's we realize that, so his father, like I said, his father has like lost all of their money, so the way that he keeps the family above water is he is a pimp. So he has a number of cat houses. I'm going to say a nice one. I'm going to say cat houses for ladies of the evening. And because I have to say, like, he treats them decently, so it's not like he's like smacking them around or anything like that. He treats them well. But that's how he makes his money. And so he's up visiting all of his houses. And FYI, if you ever wanted to know what Bender from Futurama looked like after he got beat up from trying to sodomize a woman, look no further. Look no further, because John DiMaggio plays this alderman character. I didn't realize until afterwards. I was like, what did John DiMaggio play? Because I saw his name come up. I was like, fucking Bender? What the fuck? And yeah, he's a creep. He's a real big creep in this. Because the first time we meet him, the lady, the sex worker that he's with, has done something to him. She says I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna. Somebody else could tell me exactly what actually happened. I think she pissed on him. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But he tried to, as she said, like stick it in her. I can't remember. He tried to sodomize her, and she was like, "No, no, thank you." And so she was like taking control. And what she said, she goes, hell, I might even have said yes if you had just asked. But I don't care who you is. You put a dick in my asshole, not asking. That's just that's against Jesus. Okay, noted. Correct. Um, and we also learn in this scene that unfortunately, um, Louis' brother Paul. So there's Paul and Grace are the two younger siblings. Grace is like on the verge of being married. They're all very Catholic because they're French and it's fucking New Orleans, so they're Catholic. And unfortunately, Paul is not in his right mind. Like he has some mental problems. He hears things, he sees things. But he's also a religious zealot. So on top of that, like he's got it all going for him, guys. It's sunshine and rainbows every day. And we also know that he's been in institutions before and it never worked out for him. And unfortunately, Grace is the one who kind of takes care of him. So she's really worried about when she goes to get married and she leaves and who's going to take care of Paul. And at one point, she's actually saying, like, I think we could send Paul here. And this is like it's not a group home. It's not a hospital. Because at the same time, too, in the 1910s, that's when you have your sanitariums, like the horrible places that people sent people where, unwed mothers, they sent people who had tuberculosis. I don't mean it to do that way, but they had different names for different things. Like consumption was actually sometimes could have been tuberculosis. They just didn't, or they called it something else. Tuberculosis is a thing, but so there's these hospitals, these homes for these people. So these people who needed more care. And so they didn't, Grace did not want to send Paul here because Paul's like, he's a sweet character. He's just got some shit going on. And the thing I might not have mentioned about Louis is he's closeted gay. So, and he says that he's like, there's nothing tougher about living in this town and being closeted homosexual, and being a pimp. But he has a sort of like I guess a deal, or like he's got something worked out with one of a lady of the night or a sex worker from another house, and they just talk. That's all they do. They don't have sex. Her name's Lily. She's fucking gorgeous. This woman is gorgeous. And so enter Lestat. Now we've seen Lestat a number of times. We don't talk to him. We just pan to him and he's looking at Louis. And now we finally meet him, and he is like French upon French. Like he is French. He is like a fucking French guy with a fucking bowler hat on. He's also like dressed like it's 1887. So there's that. And they're sitting there talking, and it's like he's also got these eyes that are just, well, they're weird. Guys, they're weird. And no one's like, you got weird eyes. What's wrong with your eyes? Like, they're bright blue, and his pupils are about this big, and no one's like, that's weird. But we know that something's not quite right, but there's an intensity, and they're that color because when he takes over somebody, their eyes turn that same color. It's kind of cool. Anyhow, so he's sitting at the table with Lily and Louis, and they're bartering or like bidding on Lily, who's going to be with Lily that night. I'm like, neither of these gentlemen really want to be with Lily. They want to be with each other, but it's fine. And Louis describes being in Lestat's like gaze or under his thrall. He says it, his gaze tied a string around my lungs and I couldn't move. It's just, you could feel it. Like you just felt like this, like all the air had kind of gotten taken out of the scene. And there's just these two characters, these two men just staring at each other. And you're like, there is some mad ass chemistry in this. Um, and then this is when we have a couple of times where, okay, so they go to this, he sees Louis around town, or sorry, he sees Lestat around town, and then there's this poker scene, and this is the first time we hear Lestat talk to Louis in his head, and it is el fuego. It is so fucking hot. It is. Won't take a minute. It is so hot, and he's Zach Morris's at this point. Time. And time stops around the table as they're playing poker so that way he can have a conversation just with Louis. And if that was me, if I was sitting down with a good looking, in this case, good looking woman, a beautiful woman, Gwendolyn Christie, if you will, and she's sitting across me, she stops fucking time. There's two things I'm going to do. Either one, I'm going to be like, peace, or two, and be like, please tell me more. I don't know. I haven't decided. I mean, it depends on what her eyes look like. Anyhow, so then so they it's funny, Daniel asks, he goes, so how do you guys like, how did no one, you're fucking vampires, how did no one know that you were vampires? And he's like, it's the perfect kind of camouflage. He said 19, we're, when we grew, when we were living, he said it's no one, you'd spend your night up doing, gentlemanly shit, dastardly scandalous shit, and then you'd sleep it off the next day. So no one was like, hey, why the fuck isn't this guy up at 3:00, at 9 in the morning? Where the fuck is he? Is he a vampire? Or I don't know what a vampire is. No, they, and if you if you read enough historical romances like I have, you'll know that they say like they're up until like whatever time at night at balls and whatever parties and the theater and dinners until 5 or 6 in the morning. So they don't get home till 5 or 6. They're sleeping until like, it's not an unusual thing for people to get up at 1:00 in the in the daytime during the season, the tone, the season. So they spend a lot of time with each other, and during this whole time they spend a lot of let me reverse that. They spend a lot of time with each other during this season. And Louis says, it was very cold that season, and Lestat was my coal fire. Okay. Whew. So the next scene is the scene. And I say the scene because it is, AMC went all the fuck out. Short of seeing a fucking vagina or a dick, I see some titties. We see a lot of ass, and there is a menage a trois in this scene. Somebody goes down on somebody. Let's just say someone goes down on somebody. And we also get what Lestat calls a little drink. I don't know the French. He said it. I didn't write it down, and I wasn't going to rewind. But it's the first time that Lestat drinks from Louis, and it is hot. Some other things happen. I don't want to ruin it because there's a lot of shit that happens. I'm looking. I know I'm gonna go over that. There is one scene I want to talk about before it's light. Is that the cinematographer, whoever this is, just, it's beautiful. And I'd love to know, I think I know how they did it, but I would love to know if I'm right. So you have the scene, there's a priest, that's all I'm gonna say. There's a priest and he's running in slow motion. And Lestat is walking behind him. And he's walking at a jaunty pace, like a regular, like natural pace, like if I was walking the dog. And he catches up with the priest, but it is to symbolize that, or show that it doesn't matter how fast you fucking run, this vampire can quickly just leisurely come up and get you. It's fucking cool, guys. And let me just say, I'm gonna do our totals at the end of this. Just get ready with God. I'm kidding. Just get ready for it. And we have the bite. By the time this ends, Louis is a vampire at the end of this. So we're fucking pedal to the metal. We are ready. I'm gonna do our totals, like our ratings. I say totals. I think in a fucking Joe Bob. Our rating. So God, Ween's gonna kill me. She's the one who does this. Blood and gore. This scene, whew, where Louis becomes a vampire, it's a 3. It's 3, guys. It is. There's something that happens in this scene that I'm like, holy fuck, for AMC. Wow. It was something that happened on an episode that we covered recently. So and we just covered it like boop. Wow. I can imagine like no normies losing their goddamn mind over it. I can see it. Like it didn't bother me. I was just like, but I can imagine fucking normies losing their goddamn mind. I'm trying spooky scariness. I wasn't spooky. I thought it was sexy and I thought it was hot. A love story, and I have issues. Sex and nudity. For a TV show, I'm gonna say 3 for a TV show for AMC. Like, I guess I just haven't been watching The Walking Dead recently, but for a TV show, fuck me, literally. And then fun entertainment. I mean, guys, this is a 4, dudes. I fucking loved it. I mean, I will be back for every goddamn episode. Is really good. The production is just spot on. It's gorgeous. The acting is, oh my god. There's a scene. Oh my god. There's a scene where Louis is in confessional and he is sort of drunk, but he's just losing it. And with Jacob Anderson, oh, it's just pitch perfect. It is beautiful, and it is, your heart breaks and you are in it with him, and you just, he's losing it and you're losing it with him. It's just spot on. They couldn't have found 2 better people to play these parts, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why it's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's fucking pitch perfect. So I'm excited about the next one. That is the first episode. I don't know if it has a name. Fuck me gently with a chainsaw. No, it's just, nope, just 1-1. I don't think there's not. Oh wait, hold on. Oh yes, there is. There's in in the throes of increasing wonder. Sure. Let's do it to it. Anyhow, I'm hoping you enjoyed this, me rambling for fucking, I don't know how long at this point, 30 minutes? I don't know, probably longer than the goddamn episode. Well, and I want to set up the next ones, so I want to set up all the people. But yeah, that was this, and I don't have a name for this. It's just a review. A Night on the Couch with RAE. Wait, no. Mom would be so proud. Have a great night and stay spooky, guys.